Hi guys, hope you had a great month to start off the new year, and I began 2015 pretty well in terms of trying out new makeup and also falling back in love with some things that I did put off to the side. And as always, I have that one random favorite at the end that I want to give a shout out to. Let's start off with what I'm wearing on my lips at the moment, and it is the Milani matte lipstick in Matte Blissful. This is just a beautiful baby pink. It has a little bit of a blue tone to it, which is of course how I love my lipsticks, and it does remind me a lot of my favorite Revlon Primrose lipstick, but it's a lot more opaque and it's matte. So if you also love Revlon it's hard to say. If you also love Revlon Primrose like I do, then you might want to check this out because it is really opaque. It does not dry out my lips. I always wear lip balm under all of my lipsticks though, so that's something that you may want to consider, but pick this up. It's beautiful, and I also believe it's permanent. This next one is one of the things I was referring to when I said that I'm falling back in love with a couple products. I never fell out of love with this, but I did put it off to the side because there have been so many new concealers that I've been trying out. And this is Maybelline's Fit Me Concealer. A lot of you out there love this one as well, and this is in the shade Fair, which is what I use to highlight under my eyes. It gives you a nice medium coverage. It's very creamy, and I have just no complaints about this at all. This is a standout concealer in my collection, so if you've been looking for a drugstore concealer that's really good for under the eyes, this is what I would suggest. I never use it for spot concealing, so I couldn't tell you how it works with that, but under eye concealer, this stuff is awesome. So I'm a big fan of blush, and I love trying out new ones. I picked this up, and it's probably one of the most luxurious blush purchases I've ever made, and I'm so happy that I got it. It is the Hourglass Ambient Blush Palette. Is that what it's called? The Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush Palette. It comes with 3 of these beautiful blushes right here. I'm wearing this one right now, which is Luminous Flush. They make your skin really glow without really looking like you're wearing highlighter on your cheeks. So after a long time of just kind of ignoring this and not really wanting to spend money on it, I finally gave in, especially because of Instagram. Instagram made me do it as like a video in and of itself. And because you guys love it so much on your Instagram feeds, it made me want to get it. And you guys are right. It is gorgeous. This last month I was really into smoky eyes, and also smoky eyes that you can achieve really quickly, of course. And so this helped me out a lot. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Eye Crayon in the shade Forever Taupe. I mentioned this also in my new drugstore makeup video, and it's really creamy. It blends beautifully. You do have to blend this pretty fast once you have it on your eye, because if it sets, it's going to stay put. And that is another great thing about this, because some eyeshadow crayons or cream eyeshadows may not really set, and you have to set it with an eyeshadow powder. But with this, you can just have it on its own, and it is gorgeous. So if you want like just a nice wash of color and nothing else in your eyes that day, this is another great product. There are actually 2 eyeshadow palettes that I'm putting in my January favorites video. And the first one is the one that I just never fell in love with when I first got it. And I started to try it out again in the last several weeks, and I'm really, really liking it, and I used it today. It's the Too Faced Chocolate Bar Palette. This is the original. I did order the Semi-Sweet palette yesterday for my Ulta 20% off coupon. So that's like a whole nother story. I'm gonna see if I like that one. But this one I did not originally like. Of course I love the smell of it because it smells like chocolate. I feel like everybody who has this in the video smells it, right? I don't know what it was about this palette originally that didn't make me want to grab it that often, but I just didn't grab it. And now I'm trying out different colors that I don't typically use, and I think that's why I'm starting to love it. And I've been using this one a lot, which is not a shade that I typically use. It's kind of like a reddish, I don't know what you call that, a burgundy, plummy shade right here for a smoky eye, and that's not typically something that I do. So I've really been liking this, and that is why I thought I'd try out the Semi-Sweet palette as well, and also because of your recommendations, so I'm hoping that I like it. Just keep in mind that because it's made of real cocoa powder, it is going to be a little powdery and it may have a little fallout, but I kind of let that slide just because I know that it is made of cocoa powder and it's kind of fun that way. And my other palette that I've been loving is new to me. This is the Naked 2 by Urban Decay. Of course, this is not a new palette overall, it's just new to me because I have the original Naked palette, which I love, the Naked 3 palette that I love, and I never had Naked 2. So I got this from my boyfriend for Christmas to complete my collection, and it worked out because I've been really liking taupe shades and like cooler tones, and I love the range of colors on this. I can't say it yet because I've only had this for a little over a month, but so far I'm thinking that I prefer these shades. So I may be switching over to liking cooler tone eyeshadows more. Really like this one, and I don't know which one is my favorite right now, but I'm starting to think this one might be it. If you have the other Naked palettes and you have Naked 2, let me know which one you guys prefer. This next one is a new eyebrow gel from the drugstore. It is the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Plumper. I'm always going to need eyebrow gel no matter what, so it is nice to know that there are a few alternatives at the drugstore. This one is a very basic eyebrow gel, so don't expect it to look like your brows are a lot fuller because you're using this, but it is nice to set everything in place with it. I used the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade today, and I set everything with this, and it just secures everything perfectly without it feeling too crunchy. In terms of color choices, that one is the medium to dark, or however you call it, but it is the darker version. There's a lighter one, and there's also a transparent. And that's it for makeup, so now moving on to nail polish. And my favorite nail polish range recently has been from Milani. This is the Milani Color Statement Polishes. They came out within the last year, and these are amazing. I have like 8 of them now because during Black Friday, they had a sale on their website and it was like 50% off everything. So I was able to pick up quite a few for not much money. I am wearing Doll Face right now, which is a nice baby pink for February and for Valentine's Day. I was wearing this one I think in my last video or two, and some of you were asking me. This one is Hot Pink Rage. The great thing about these is they're so creamy, they do not apply streaky at all. I am not a fan of Essie nail polish. I just never was on the Essie nail polish train. This one just glides on so beautifully, and I wish that Essie was like that, but this one's just very easy to apply. I never have any issues with it, and it does not chip for quite a long time. I'd say just under a week. I will not get a single chip with these. This next thing is beauty related, but it's a detergent for your beauty blender, your makeup sponges, your makeup brushes, and this is from Daiso. So Daiso is a store that's in California and also of course in Asia and I believe Australia, because a viewer from Australia sent this to me along with some makeup, so thank you so much. And I finally started trying it out in the last month or so, and it is unbelievable. You don't even need a lot of this, and it really gets rid of all the makeup on your makeup brushes and on your sponges, and it's freaking fantastic. I am going to order this again on Amazon, but I was looking at some of the reviews, and some people said that they received theirs with like only half of it full, which was really annoying. So I don't really know where I'm going to buy it from, but I do want to buy it from somewhere. If you do have a Daiso in your area, you might want to go and hunt this down. It's also, I guess, really hard to find according to some bloggers, but it's definitely worth it. It should be only $1.50 if you have a Daiso in the States because it's a $1.50 store. And oh, this is such a good detergent. It is Japanese and it's so good. Makeup brush cleaning for me is such a chore. I have to do it in 2 separate days. I have to take like part of my brushes and clean it one day, and then the next day I'll clean the other half of my brushes. And this one just sped up the process so much. I don't have to swirl my brush around in my hand for very long for all of it to come out. And I also like to use a facial cleanser right after because this is pretty strong, so you may want to go over it with something else to make sure that it doesn't dry out too fast and make sure that your makeup brushes don't dry out. But this is an amazing, amazing product. If you can find it online, if you can find it in stores, I suggest you pick it up because it rocks. And my last favorite is the random favorite. It doesn't seem like it's much because it's such a basic, maybe even a bland favorite, but it has made such a huge difference for me, and it's a phone stand. Mine is pink. They have so many different colors, and I like to put my iPhone 6 Plus on it like this, and I watch YouTube videos on it, or if I'm just charging it, you can charge it right down here because there's a hole. I tend to watch YouTube videos really often, and I used to have to hold it up like this, or I'll find really strange ways to keep my phone from falling down. I also like having makeup tutorials on my phone in the morning when I'm getting ready. Not all the time, but sometimes it's just nice to have someone else there doing their makeup. I don't know if I'm the only one that does that, but I like having an option, you know, for that. So this has been amazing. It is a game changer for me because I use my phone so often. So if you're looking for something like this, it is from Amazon. It was only $8 with tax included, and I will link it below if you're interested. They do have a lot of colors to choose from. And this is the end of my January favorites. Let me know in the comments below what some of your favorites are, because of course I'm always on the lookout for new things, and if we have any of the same favorites, I would love to know that as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you very soon. Bye!